All right. So I'm in my closet. I'm gonna talk to y'all. But honestly, it's just about a lot of shit that's just been going on. And I feel like people are starting to wake up, spiritually wise and physically. Um, there's just a lot of shit going on in the United States, down to the president, but it's deeper than that. Um, you know, just history not being told, everything is in a system due to what we watch, the media being fake, food basically having what the fuck in it, just jobs that we go to, basically working for free. At the end of the day, all our money goes back to the bank, regardless if we own things or not. How prison is a setup. A lot of people incarcerated that don't really have to be there. Um, School, just everything. Religion, just how the Bible, how it was passed down for so long, and how it's been rewritten, how they can take things out, but it's crazy how the eye can conceive us. And you being born whatever time, even from back then, we just go about life and go off of what we've been told and what we hear. But when you really do your research, there's a lot of truth that just be getting left out, and it's so crazy. I don't really touch on things like this, but me, like, for so long, like, even on the spiritual journey, like, it is important for you to really find God and understand the true meaning behind the Bible and everything. And I had this conversation with my brother a lot, not really believing that there's a lot of things that I feel like they leave out or they don't want us to know about the book. And just doing research and looking up history, like, whenever America was built and everything, you got to remember that even the people that run it today technically weren't supposed to be here. They came and conquered and turned this into land and forced people that were already here. Yes, Native Americans were here. Yes, Mexicans were here. I believe that a lot of black people were already here too. When they say Native Americans, I think um that we were here also with Latinos. I feel like when it comes to like South America, Mexico, California, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, all those places used to be Mexico. And I feel like just United States in general, like, just had black people here. But a lot of people say that the slave trade and how Africans brought Africans here, but I believe that due to like the Mayans, and they say the Anunnakis and that civilization before, I think they came before Europeans even knew that this place was here. And I feel like that's never going to be told correctly, and how we were stripped of our heritage in general. And still to this day, now you get kind of see everything kind of crumbling and falling apart. But it's like the truth is starting to unravel, be told. But it's crazy that no matter how many times in history, every person that's tried to stand up for people always gets silenced. Like, no matter when people come out and expose things from like what we see on our phone, what's in the food, just exposing people that we grew up watching. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. Like, living in this time is like living in a time of truth, man. And it's just crazy how everything is just designed like it's a big ass game. And here's another thing that I try to talk about a lot. So, me, yes, the president has done a lot of things that people are upset about, but I think it's deeper than him. I think it's deeper than that. There's a lot of people that are very wealthy that are running this country, man. And you got to think, like, who owns Twitter? Elon Musk. Then you got to think about the people who own Paramount, that own Warner Brothers, that get to control like the TV, Netflix, and all that. You feel me? Then you got Facebook, Instagram, who controls that. These people are alive and they're still active, and I feel like they kind of get to perceive and make a perception of what we see, what we hear, and how everything is just chaotic all the time. But I feel like now things are just catching up of everything that's happened in history. Um, white Caucasians, white Americans, even though a lot of them weren't around and it's not their fault that a lot of things happen. It's about the government. It's about them being white supremacists. It's about how they just want everything in their system of them still being a superior race. And I feel like they're so scared of the revenge, but it's not that. It's about us being able to speak on our history and tell it correctly and be able to speak on things that we're told lies about. And I feel like they can never face that fact. And even coming on here and speaking on this is dangerous, you know. And people have came out and had these platforms, and even right now, you got people talking about files and the corrupted government, and it's everything, bro. Like we really do live in a matrix, and I feel like people kind of don't understand a lot just when they say we're in a stimulation and things like that. Like consciously, we are here. Spiritually, you are here, but your body is just physical. You feel me? So you're basically just alive through energy, spirit. But I do believe that we were made by a creator, which is God, and that nature is basically us, that he made nature and that we come from nature and that we're supposed to be eating uh anything that comes from the earth. But all these things that like go into the grocery store, all these processed foods, all these fast food places, what we consume, it's all bad, and that's the matrix. Just everything that affects our energy, that's connected to our health still, because your energy, how your mood on how you feel is still affected to your health. People don't understand that. So like when they tell you to go outside and get sun, like that's supposed to help us. Not eating as much because we're technically not supposed to eat a lot. If you look at back then, they probably only ate one meal a day, but it's because these are secrets that people don't want to get exposed to. Even that's what I'm saying. We live in a system that's designed. Even you going to the hospital, it could be something small that can be fixed. We eating healthy and exercising, but it's all designed to make you sick and to kill you more and to bring you back for them to make money. And it's crazy that money is still like the most powerfulest thing. And technically, it doesn't, like, all of this shit does not mean anything because when we die, none of this shit doesn't even matter. But it's crazy because, like, living in America and being born, I'm in my 20s now, about to be in my 30s, but it's like everything was built off of just power and like just conquering. Like, they came here and made civilization what it is, but like like everything was just built off of bullshit, basically. And like now, like you got people waking up spiritually, and you got people being able to come out and speak the truth, and it's amazing, it's great, but it's crazy, man. Like me speaking for my race and just people that came before that have always stood up and fought. I do believe that there will be a time to come to where we'll be able to unite, but there's just still a lot of work to be done. But me, just everything's connected, just our phone, bro. um like we're supposed to be with nature, bro, and it's so hard to understand. And people think that a lot of things that are being told and truths that are coming out, even with religion and things, just everything is just a perception, and that's still designed to keep us under control. But like even with our race, man, just being African American, just like everything that we've gone through, and just the perception on how they still make us still to this day. But I feel like people are waking up and trying to see their own truth. But that's basically what has to happen, man. It has to get to a point to where things have to be told correctly, and people are too uncomfortable to bring that to light, and they can never accept the fact on what happened. But it's all a part of history. Even though a lot of people, maybe in modern time right now, it's not their fault and they want us to let it go and just move forward, but we can't, because look at all this. look at all the shit that comes with it. Nothing can never be resolved because nothing has ever been resolved. And this shit started ever since they came here and took over America. But at the end of the day, they're not supposed to be here. A lot of people aren't supposed to be here, but that government, if we want to go back to the founding fathers, like they came here and stole something that's not theirs. And it's crazy how people have suffered for generations, bro. We're talking about this shit is designed, everything coming down to technology and how we live, just humanity is all designed based off a system. It's just a game, bro. It's like them just bored and fucking playing with us. And you got all these celebrities that are just that are the distraction too. And it's just crazy. But I do want to speak on a lot of, I feel like the truth be in front of our eyes sometimes. So like when we watch movies and things like that, I feel like a lot of things that have happened in human civilization has really happened, bro. Like, why is it that these stories have been reoccurring for so long? You know what I mean? And just like with the Bible and Jesus, that has to be real. Why is it that it's been around for centuries and the stories never changed? Or you got all these urban legends that people talk about. But I feel like maybe there's a lot of things that never got spoke about because they're scared of the essence that comes behind it. Because just like I say with the Bible, I believe God was real. I believe a lot of those stories happened, but there has to be things that, because look, a lot of people have mixed opinions about the Ethiopian Bible, and I did my research on that, and it probably be one of the oldest Bibles in human civilization, right? But there's books in there that did not get left out. But when you look at the European way on how everything is built, from language, from teaching, everything, religion, like it's based off of how they taught and they brought it here. You know what I mean? So how do we know that it wasn't rewritten this time, or everything's based off of European lifestyle still to this day? And that's what people don't understand. They came here and everything has been based off of how they live since the beginning of time, but they can never accept the fact that African Americans, black people in general, have been here longer than anybody on this earth, and that Latinos have been here longer than anybody on this earth, and that the real indigenous people of color have been here longer than anybody, and that we have the most powerfulest melanin, that it's in our blood, it's in our bones, it's on our skin, our hair, like it's who we are. Like God created us like this. And it's crazy how I feel like a lot of things in the Bible that happen, I feel like it happened basically here. Like it happened in Africa. Like that's one of the first places ever. Like I really feel like they can't accept the fact that we're probably one of the greatest things ever made by God Himself, and that we are the superior race, but they're scared to admit it. And it's fine because they basically flipped the script to make them look like they were better and higher, and it happens. But we have to get to a point to where we have to win this spiritual war and a physical war. Like it's so much deeper than what we think, bro. Just, and it's crazy because like even down to sports, like, and I love sports, I love football, basketball, but award shows, everything is a distraction from other things that be happening. It's like everybody celebrated the Super Bowl, and you got people being able to talk their opinions and stuff, but all of it at the end of the day is a distraction from something else greater that's happening behind closed doors that we ignore. You feel me? And coming down to just politics and how everything's run there, is you got to remember that a lot of this should be staged, or a lot of things controlled from what they want us to see. So a lot of things we don't get to see, we have to go out as people and read books and really do our research and really get down to the bottom of how things are. But I feel like along the way that there's been people to try to give us hints, to try to help us. They just never got to make it to the point to where they needed to. But this shit is all a distraction, man. And even in the music, like rap music, everything, like it is like you gotta pay attention to the energy, words being used, because all of this is all connected. And it's crazy to say, bro, like in you believing in all this stuff, they think that you can't believe and be Christian and all that, but I feel like it's deeper than that. Like things were just designed to set up to have us in fear. Like we all live in fear and self-esteem overwhelmed, but at the end of the day, we're supposed to be one with nature. Nature is supposed to keep us at peace, and like it's so hard to describe, man. I can go on and on just about a lot of things, but I try to just be kind of forward and straight to the point. But just everything that's happening right now is just all due to white men and how they want to run the system. But lies are being caught up, and a lot of evil things that have been done are coming to light. And just growing up and just not being aware until you get older, but just being in that generation in between now is just like millennials, like we just know, like it's just crazy, bro. Like, but yeah, man, even when you're born, just the hospital, the shots that they give us, what they feed babies, makeup, what's in the grocery store for real, like a lot of things need to be questioned, man. A lot of things need to be questioned. It's just so wild that like us as humans, like we can't even be told the truth because people are scared or people don't know how to handle it. But a lot of history has never been told correctly. But when is it really going to be told? When is it going to get to a point to where they can they can kind of understand